Okay, I'm ready to go whenever you are. Good morning, everyone. Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins in for you. Tracking some storms. Severe weather has been pushing into our area. We have a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 a.m. for parts of central Nebraska and until 2 p.m. for parts of southeast Nebraska. Thank you to Krista Chang for taking over all night long, actually all morning, covering the severe weather that has been ongoing. And there's quite a bit of it. In fact, here's a look at the live radar. A very large line of thunderstorms pushing through right now. In fact, this line right here is about 60 miles long, and it is headed east, and it should impact Lincoln and Beatrice within the next hour. So lots going on out there right now. It's making its way east, and all of the severe thunderstorm warnings are rather large because this is a wind event. In fact, the information I have for from the National Weather Service, severe thunderstorm warning for Gage, Jefferson, Johnson, Pawnee, Lancaster, Seward, Odo, Saline, and Cass County until 9 a.m. So a lot of real estate is under this severe thunderstorm warning. It's for 70 mile per hour wind gusts and penny size hail. So hail isn't the main concern here. There is going to be some hail, but it's not a lot of hail. We do have 70 mile per hour wind gusts though that are going to be the main concern. So areas impacted by this are Lincoln, Beatrice, Tecumseh, Crete, Waverly, Wilbur, Hickman, Wymore, Eagle, Bennett, Firth, Adams, Greenwood, Palmyra, DeWitt, Cortland, Sterling, Plymouth, Malcolm, and Blue Springs. This is moving east quickly at 45 miles per hour, and it extends from about 3 miles east of Utica to 2 miles southeast of Swanton to 3 miles northeast of Reynolds. It's moving east again around 45 miles per hour. So clear things off here, put this into a looping motion. You can see it's diving south just a little bit. Looks like Gage County is likely going to see the brunt of this severe thunderstorm as it moves towards Beatrice now. I'll zoom in and give you a little closer look at this storm. The area that's under a severe thunderstorm warning now is this thin line here. It includes for 70 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. This includes Seward, Fairbury, Crete, Milford, Friend, Utica, Dorchester, Plymouth, Beaver Crossing, Staplehurst, Western, Garland, Dwight, B, Ulysses, Dakin, Goner, Cordova, Endicott, and Jansen. This is for a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see, for Seward, Jefferson, Saline, and southern Butler County until 8:30. So another 20 minutes left on that as it's moving east at 40 miles per hour with 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So move that out of the way. I want to bring up the tower cam here in just a second. I want to get it positioned just right. There we go. Okay. I'm going to change what we're looking at here and kind of take a live look. And if you have friends or family that can't get our station, or let's see, this has to load. Don't worry, the camera's loading. One moment. That's it. There it goes. Okay, this is a live look at looking to the southwest. So we're in southwest Lincoln, and this is looking southwest. So you can see the storm is just now starting to approach, and we're looking through our Barry Law camera. This is a look if you're looking southwest from the city of Lincoln. So storms are moving in. And we did have some tornado warnings earlier. It looks like the rotation has gone away from those this storm. I do want to check on that though. I mean, we might as well. We're going to be on here for a little while. Look at the rotation. I mean, there's a little bit, but nothing jumps out to me that says watch out for this. I'm seeing just a couple of spots here and there, maybe around Crete, towards Tobias, but overall, the rotation is not huge right now, so that's a little bit of a good news. Get back to the radar. It does. I mean, one thing I do want to show you though is when you're looking at these storms with the wind velocity. Wind gusts, there's 54 miles per hour west of Tobias, west of Crete. I need to get rid of the warnings here. There we go. That's 45 miles per hour west, just west of Crete. So I was looking at this area right there. That's 45 miles per hour. Then this right here, that is 41, 46. So it's getting really close to, there's a 50 mile per hour wind gust just west of Tobias. So this storm does have some very strong wind embedded within it, and that's part of the reason we're on right now. And if I know not everybody has cable, so if you have friends or family that that can't see us but wants to know what's going on, let me check here. I'm on YouTube right now. That's Rusty WX on YouTube, streaming live there, so you can find me there. And even when if we go off air, I will stay on YouTube and continue to track these storms. Let me get us back to the radar so that you can see where the storm is at. Just starting to move into southwest Lancaster County and western parts of Gage County. I'll put this into a looping mode. Waiting to see, get more information from the National Weather Service. We're going to stick with you as long as this storm is moving through Lancaster and Gage County. We want everybody to stay safe, so you can have the most recent information. So we're going to stay on with you for a while here, so probably through the 9 o'clock hour. So if you were watching your local programming, I apologize for that. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago that we had some strong rotation in parts of central and southeast Nebraska, seeing reports that there was a rotation near Milligan just about 30 minutes ago. So this storm does have a history of having some rotation in it and some very strong winds, so it wouldn't take much. You can see it kind of, once it's kind of, as it moves this way, it's got kind of just a spin like that. So keeping a really close eye on this as it moves south and east. It had near Harbine 60 mile per hour wind gust, which was measured about 5 minutes ago. 6 miles east-northeast of Harbine in Gage County, 60 mile per hour wind gust. So definitely worth keeping an eye on here. Let me see. Okay. And if you're just joining us, these severe thunderstorms are moving through Seward, Saline, and Jefferson counties. They're headed towards Lancaster and Gage County. The main concern with these storms is going to be very gusty winds, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Hail, not much of an issue, not as much of an issue. It does look like we could see some penny-size hail, maybe some quarter-size hail, but it does look like this is mostly a wind event, and it does have just a little bit of rotation in it. So it's worth keeping an eye on for a possible spin-up tornado. Doesn't look like it would be a devastating tornado or anything like that, but any tornado is bad enough. So we're keeping a close eye on that just in case something does spin up. We did have a tornado warning earlier for Jefferson and Saline County. That was about 30 or 40 minutes ago, and that has since expired, so a little bit of good news there. But we're tracking these storms as they move south and east. So if you're just joining us, thank you very much for tuning in. Krista Chang was doing some severe weather coverage earlier for us. and she was here all night long, and so I came in to help out. Jessica Blum will be in a little bit later to keep you informed and to track these storms. So everything's moving east very quickly, around 45 miles per hour. The latest information for you, let's rehash these severe thunderstorm warnings. It's in effect until 9 a.m., so another 45 minutes left on these severe thunderstorm warnings. Lancaster, Johnson, Seward, Jefferson, Odo, Saline, Pawnee, Gage, and Cass County. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 9 p.m. It is moving east at around 50 miles per hour, so it is a very quick moving storm. So this will be in and out, probably waking everybody up. If you're just waking up now going, what's happening? It's a strong line of storms with 70 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter size hail possibility. So the storm is moving, starting to make its way into Gage and Lancaster County now. It's just about to Highway 77, especially in Gage County. It does look like most of this is moving in this direction. So Lincoln will likely see the top half of this right here, and then Beatrice will see this part right here. And 70 mile per hour wind gusts are going to be likely with this storm. So now would be the time, if you live in Lincoln, Beatrice might be too late to get outside and bring anything inside, but if you live in other areas like Lancaster County, Cass, Odo, Johnson, Pawnee counties, if you can run outside and gather some things that might be blowing around, now would be a good time to do it. But running out of time in Gage County and Lancaster County for that matter. Seward, Crete, Wilbur likely seeing the brunt of this now. Let's see, speaking of Beatrice, let's take a look at the Beatrice, the Shones Roofing camera. I'm going to bring that up here real quick. It might take a second to load here, so apologies if the screen goes black for a second as this camera does load. There we go. And you can see the very strong winds moving through Shones Roofing camera right now. Look at those trees just whipping around, likely seeing 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts blow through or moving into the Beatrice area. Look at that stop sign. Just shaking around and the tops of those trees. And that's the main concern with this storm are the heavy, the strong winds. You can have a limb drop and blow through your window, or drop on a sidewalk. I did see coming into work just a little bit ago, lots of people out and about riding their bikes, taking a walk. So if you have any friends or family that might be doing that, call them right now and say, hey, get back inside. There's a storm coming. I know it didn't even look like it when I was driving in. So completely worth checking in on friends and family that might be out and about in Lancaster and Gage County. Look at that wind just blowing through. Goodness, that storm is really, really moving. This is in Beatrice. This is South 6th Street and Perkins. Our Shones Roofing cam. Looks like a lot of things tipped over there. Looks like some cones on the left side of your screen. So some very strong winds moving through the Beatrice area. Wow, look at that. This will be in and out quickly. It's a fast moving storm. It's about moving east at 50 miles per hour. It does have within it 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Seeing that there might be some people at the Gage County Fairgrounds. So if you have friends or family near that the fairgrounds there in Gage County, give them a call. Let them know they need to get inside right now, if they don't already know. Okay, let's go back to the radar, because it looks like that camera might be sticking just a little bit. So we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in place until 11 a.m. for Central, for like the Tri-Cities area, Columbus, and then for the Gage County, Lancaster County, Dodge County, and areas east, that severe thunderstorm watch goes until 2 p.m. So these storms blew up fairly quick, and we did see this line right here, and I'm going to put a tracker on this, and it's moving at about that fast. So Southeast Community College at 8:20. Well, that's a little too fast for the Lincoln area. That's probably a little bit later. Beatrice right now, Wymore 8:28, Stagecoach Lake at 8:30. Let's see, and the Lincoln area probably in the next 20 minutes. That's about right. So let's zoom in just a little bit further here so we can get a closer look. Looks like some new information on that severe thunderstorm warning. There's two severe thunderstorm warnings right now. There's this little thin line right here, and then this line right here. And keeping a close eye, that's new information there. So let me see what they're saying about this. Still 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail for the eastern Seward, eastern Jefferson, and eastern Saline counties until 8:30. So another 10 minutes left on that thin line of severe thunderstorm warning. And then the bigger, of course, the bigger. That's not what I wanted to do. Lots of lightning. I just pushed up the lightning there, and let's see how much lightning there actually is. 434 strikes of lightning just west of Highway 77. Goodness, that's a lot of lightning. And I'm going to bring up the velocity. We're going to see how fast these winds are going. Just south of Lincoln. Get rid of the warnings for just a quick second. So 53-mile-per-hour wind gust. That's just east of Crete. I want to zoom in on that. One moment. So between Crete and Norris High School, that was a 53-mile-per-hour wind gust. I'm looking at this area right here. .44, 47, 44, so a lot of wind. And then this area near Tobias, I'm looking at this area right there. Almost 50, 46, 57-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Right near Tobias, there's 53. So very strong winds moving through the Tobias area right now. Okay, we'll go back to the regular radar. Put it into motion. This is moving quickly. Looks like getting a report of power out in Beatrice right now, so which does happen, especially with these gusty winds. Let's take a look as that storm is moving into Beatrice. I want to look at that Shones roofing cam again and see what it looks like as these storms move into Beatrice. Sorry for the freeze frame there as this loads. Looks like the wind is still pushing through the Beatrice area. People still driving around. Heavy rain now whipping around in Beatrice on our Shones roofing cam, South 6th Street and Perkins. You can see the sheets of rain just whipping through. So once again, I just did see a report of lost power in Beatrice. Yeah, the airport there in Beatrice reporting a wind gust at 59 knots. Which 59 knots is 67 miles per hour. So a 67 mile per hour wind gust just measured in Beatrice. So very strong winds pushing through the Beatrice area right now. And you can see the wind is just whipping those trees and the rain, sheets of rain just blowing through. Okay, gonna go back to the radar, gonna look at the velocity. I'm starting to get a little nervous about how this storm is bending in southwest Lancaster County. You notice how it kind of bends like this. bends like this and then comes straight down. Usually when you see a bend like that, that means there's some sort of rotation going on. I mean, there's a little bit there. No tornado warning yet, but this area is worth watching. It's trying to it might be a little rotation. So definitely worth keeping an eye on. Yep, 2 miles north of Beatrice, 68-mile-per-hour wind gust as these storms roll through. And you see these brighter greens here. Those are also very gusty winds moving through the Beatrice area. But this area right here, worth keeping an eye on. It's not a tight rotation right now, but it is a broad rotation, and we'll see what the National Weather Service does with that. But if you live in southwestern Lancaster County or northwestern Gage County, take some shelter. Make sure you're away from windows. Put yourself between the storm and get inside. Is putting as many walls between you and the outside as you can, just in case. No need to panic. No need to worry. But keep yourself safe. The storm is trying to move across Highway 77 now. It hasn't quite made it into the Lincoln area. Let's see. I'm looking at our cameras right now to determine a good-looking camera. Let's take a look at the one we have here at the studio. I have it pointed southwest, and you can see that storm is really dark. In fact, let me move it just a little bit. Yeah, the storm is moving. It hasn't moved into the capital city yet. So we'll go back to radar, and there it is. You can see the storm. I'm going to put this into loop mode. And Lincoln is going to see some heavy rain soon. It looks like the brunt of this storm is moving across Highway 77 now south of Lincoln towards Beatrice with a lot of wind, up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Okay, well, to recap, we have just this one big severe thunderstorm warning right now that's in place. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins. In case you're just tuning in, we'll get back to programming here probably in the next half hour or so. But we have severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place for a couple of spots. We have this severe thunderstorm warning for the Lincoln and Beatrice areas for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And quarter-size hail. This is a severe thunderstorm warning until 9 a.m. for Lancaster, Johnson, eastern Seward, eastern Jefferson, western Odo, eastern Saline, western Pawnee, Gage, and southwestern Cass County. This is moving east at around 45 miles per hour, and it has 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail embedded in it. You can see the brunt of this storm is just south of Lincoln, moving through Beatrice right now. And the good news, a little bit of good news here. There was also this little thin line right here that's been allowed to expire. That's going to be done at 8:30, so in just about 2 minutes that will be gone as the storm has pushed through. The brunt of it is moving across Highway 77 now. I am seeing some chatter on from the National Weather Service that this area right there did have a little bit of rotation going on. Not enough for a tornado warning, but it was close. And that's the thing with these storms. They can spin things up, a tornado warning or a tornadic storm, very, very quickly, and then dissipate very quickly. So sometimes things happen so fast within these storms that the reaction time to get a warning out isn't possible because it happens so quickly. So that's with any severe thunderstorm. The potential is there for a spin up or a tornado warning or a tornado to be embedded, and it happens really, really fast. So if you're in this line, if you're in the way of this storm, you want to take cover now because a tornado can spin up very, very quickly. In fact, I'm going to stop this and put, this is the brunt of the storm right here. It's moving about that fast. Panama, Sterling, Panama, and just like right now, Sterling 834, Douglas 838, Summerfield at 840, Tecumseh at 845, Pawnee City 849, Table Rock at 852, and this storm is moving east at 70 miles per hour. So a lot of wind associated with this. It's moving east at 45 miles per hour. It does have 70 mile per hour wind gusts associated with it. This is just south of the capital city. Got another report of a 66 mile per hour wind gust 2 miles north of Blue Springs in Gage County. So Gage County is likely seeing the brunt of this in southern Lancaster County. So if you live near Saltillo, Sprague, Highland, Pickerel, Beatrice, Philly, Adams, you're going to want to take shelter now. Excuse me. So the severe thunderstorm warning is continuing for Cass, Gage, Jefferson, Johnson, Lancaster, Odo, Pawnee, Saline, Seward until 9 a.m. And this is for 70 mile per hour wind gusts and hail just a little bit less than a quarter size. So that's why that's flashing right now. That was the update. We're going to look at a couple of different radars here, a couple of different cameras. That Beatrice one, it's just, the storm is rolling through Beatrice. So we're going to look at that Shones Roofing camera once again. Because Lincoln's quiet. Excuse me, Lincoln is quiet right now. But our friends in Beatrice, excuse me, I'm sorry. They're getting hit pretty hard with 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. It looks like the bulk of the wind has died down a little bit. Heavy rain moving through now. So I did get a report just a little bit ago of power out in Beatrice in some areas. It does look like those lights are on. We're at South 6th Street in Perkins, so not everybody is without power. Sounds like Sprague's getting hit pretty hard right now. Power out in Northeast Beatrice. Looking at the Shones Roofing at South 6th Street and Perkins in Beatrice, it looks like the heaviest part of that storm is through that area now. So we'll go back to the radar here. This is a live look. This is what's happening right now, and it's this line right there. A good bend, a good push of wind blowing through that line. This is all moving east at about 45 miles per hour, and as it does that, it has the potential for 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Lincoln, you are really close to this now. In fact, this area right here is likely going to move into the Lincoln area pretty soon. Let me put this yep, there you go. So it's kind of, and it's, I keep seeing that bend. There's this bend, right? Right there. And that, when you see that, that's, you can see just a little bit of spin to that atmosphere. and that's always cause for concern. So if you live in southern Lancaster County and really the city of Lincoln, make sure you're inside. We've had reports of quick spin-ups, rotation embedded in this line of storms, and that's what happens with these storms is you can get a spin-up really, really fast to the point where you're unable to issue a tornado warning because it just happens quickly, like within seconds, like a minute or two, and then it's done. So just treat this as if anything is possible. So that's severe thunderstorm warning. And if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us here. We're going to be on just probably for another 30 minutes or so, as long as this storm is in southeast Nebraska. We're also streaming live on my YouTube. That's Rusty WX there too. In case if you lose power or want to use your phone, or you have friends or family that don't get our station, they can watch there as well. So lots of places that you can watch us, just in case you can't watch us on TV. That's another place you can go. But getting lots of reports of some heavy rain. Looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning for Marysville, for parts of northeast Kansas. That's my printer. You could probably hear that. It's probably, oh, actually this is a different part. Oh, no, that's something else. I'm sorry. So if you're just joining us, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in place until 11 a.m. That's for these counties right here. And then we also have a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 p.m. for these counties over here, kind of split. So it's just for that line of storms that's moving through right now. So severe thunderstorm watch in place until the storm moves through. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit further, give you kind of a wide angle, show you what's going on. The hardest part of this storm, the places that are getting hardest hit right now, this area right there. That is part of the storm that is moving east and southeast at 45 miles per hour. Heavy rain starting to move into the capital city now. The wind is southern Lancaster County and Gage County. It's moving through that area right now. And I will zoom into that area so we can get a better view of that. And we're going to turn this into velocity and check out the wind gusts. Looks like that's a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. Yep, there it is. Severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Lancaster, Johnson, Nemaha, Odo, Richardson, Pawnee, eastern Gage, and southern Cass County until 9:15 for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This storm is 3 miles northwest of Douglas to 4 miles south of Sterling and 2 miles east of Liberty, moving east at 55 miles per hour. Has 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts associated with this, so very gusty winds. And that's for this area right here. This is the severe thunderstorm warning that's in place, or has been in place. Zoom out just a little bit here, and we're going to look at the wind gusts and see, to get rid of the warnings there. So 37 miles per hour. And radar doesn't always pick up on the wind gusts. These over here though, 36 miles per hour, 44 miles per hour. In the Lincoln area, not bad. I mean, still some wind gusts, 26, 28. So I'm encouraged. I'm not seeing the 15, 16 mile per hour wind gusts that I was seeing earlier. Let me see. We're going to take a look at one of these cameras. I was just looking to see what they all look like. Honda of Lincoln cam. This is in Southwest Lincoln. And storm, you can see the storm just to the south there. The Beatrice one. Wind still whipping around, heavy rain. Look at that, maybe some localized flooding there on 6th Street. Let's look at the Barry Law cam we have here at the station in Southwest Lincoln. You can see that almost looks like a shelf cloud. Business as usual in Lincoln right now as the storm is diving to the south, but we are going to see some rain shortly, some gusty winds as this storm moves through. So we'll get back to the radar here. I'm being told our channel may be off the air on TV. If that's, yeah, it looks like we just lost our signal. So if that's the case, I am on YouTube right now. That's Rusty WX. So if you have friends or family that can't watch, or we're trying to watch Channel 8, and if we're off the air, yeah, I'm being told we're off the air. You can watch on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube right now. That's YouTube on Rusty WX. So I'm sure everybody's working on it right now. I'm going to turn the TV on so I can see when we're back on air. We gotta let the storm pass. Okay, I can see, it does look like we might be back on air. I'm not sure. I can see it on our, still streaming on DirecTV, so that's good. Well, I mean that's the beauty of technology these days. If you can't get us on TV, we are in other spots. I'm on YouTube right now. I got a lot of people watching, 134 people watching right now, so that's not bad. But severe thunderstorm warning continues. It's pushing just south of the capital city. Part of this strong storm, this area right here, will eventually move into the capital city. Looks like the antenna signal is not back. Still streaming on Hulu, so that's good. Spectrum cable TV is still on. So we're still on in many different, it's just different. Not everybody uses the same way to watch TV these days. So some of it's out, some of it's not. So if you're still watching, thank you for continuing to watch. I will stay on until this storm has moved through. And it's doing that right now. So let's put this into a loop mode. Let's see. Looks like I'm being told by our engineers that it's a rain fade. So if heavy rain sometimes does that. Okay, so I mean, this is just bending around the capital city. And some people are thinking, well, hey, this is moving around the capital city, but what it's doing is it's got a little bit of a bend to it, and that makes me more nervous than anything. Yeah, we're missing out on the gusty winds, but it also is indicative of a little rotation. So I'm going to put this, it's not prominent, so that's good. But when you see a bend like that on the radar, you always give pause, because there's just such a possibility of a quick spin up, of a quick tornado. Nothing strong, nothing huge. It's not going to be a devastating blow, but it's still a possibility of a quick spin up. And if that happens, you're looking at a quick burst of 80, 90 mile per hour winds. If that does happen, if that bend, and this is kind of the area right here, like this area right in here, you could have a quick spin up with that rotation. And it's broad. I mean, it's not a huge deal. It's not a massive tornado or anything like that. It's just a little bit of a bend, a little bit of a area of rotation. So it's worth watching that area. See, just this area right in here. Just, it's got a little notch. So I'm just gonna keep watching that closely. It looks like maybe a little bit of small hail towards Norris High School, just southwest of Hickman. Stagecoach Lake, if you have any friends or family that's maybe camping this weekend near this area, might be seeing a little hail between West Hallam Road and Sprague Road, Roca Road, Panama Road, those areas just south of the capital city. And then after this, there's a lot of just moderate rain. So we're probably about 15 minutes away, and then I'll get you back to your programming. So thank you for tuning in. So this is moving quickly out of Lancaster and Gage County. It's moving into Cass, Otoe, Johnson, and Pawnee County. We are missing the brunt of the winds in the capital city, but some heavy rain is going to be likely here over the next few minutes. We're going to take a look at a couple of the cameras. I do have a camera here in southwest Lincoln that is pointed south, so it should give us a good look at that storm. As the radar pauses, we'll switch over to the camera, and that's what it looks like. We're looking due south of the capital city. And seeing a few questions. Why is this pushing away from the capital city? It's just how this storm formed. It has a little bit of a spin inside of it in the middle of that. So this area right here, it's got a rotation, and all storms do that. That's how it works. And this storm is just kind of tightening up, and it's bringing itself down south. So the moderate rain from Columbus to Grand Island. So as this storm moved, it moved from here and just kind of started tightening up. And when it does that, it condenses itself. It makes itself smaller. And it just happened that Lincoln was on the northern fringe of that. There's nothing in Lincoln that will push anything away. I know a lot of people like to throw out that dome word, but that's nonsense. But that is the storm is like tightening up, and looks like we have another severe thunderstorm warning for this area right here. As this storm tightens up, it is going to have a lot of wind associated with it. So storms don't care what's underneath of it. It doesn't care about cities. You can get a heat island effect, but that's not what's happening here. Severe thunderstorm warning for Johnson, Nemaha, Otoe, Richardson, and Pawnee until 9:30 for 80 mile per hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. So like I was saying, this storm is tightening up. That's why it's pulling south of Lincoln, because the whole storm itself is pulling itself within itself. It's tightening up. So that area right there is getting stronger because it's tightening up. So it's like it's almost shrinking. It's almost a big lot, a big. I'm trying to think of the perfect phrasing for this. It's not coming to me, but this storm is getting stronger, so it's wrapping itself up even stronger. So it's making itself smaller as it moves to the east, and as it does that, it's got a lot more wind. It had 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts, and then it tightened up a little bit, and now it had 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts, and now it's tightened up even more, and now it has 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. So as it gets smaller, as it shrinks down, it gets stronger and stronger, and as it does that, it's pulling itself away from Lincoln. It's pulling itself away from Kansas as it gets smaller, and it's more. It's like a football player that makes himself smaller so he can get stronger and just plow through the linemen. So that's kind of there. Someone on YouTube just says like an ice skater spinning and bringing their arms in. That's exactly what's happening. They get faster and faster as they rotate. So that's what's happening with this storm. Nothing is pushing it away from Lincoln. It's just tightening up, and it's just where the storm is. So yeah, Lincoln is missing out on the 80 mile per hour wind gusts. I believe that's a good thing. But the storm is moving to the east at, how fast was this moving? 50 miles per hour. It's along a line from 2 miles south of Syracuse to near Tecumseh, moving east at 50 miles per hour. And the storm itself has 80 mile per hour wind gusts. So I'm going to put this into a velocity mode, and looks like Table Rock might be seeing some, yeah, look at that. That's Table Rock. Let's look and see quickly. There's 60, 51, and this isn't at the surface. This is higher up in the atmosphere. So just the fact that I'm seeing 50 to almost 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and that's fast. So there's a lot of damaging wind blowing through Table Rock, Pawnee City, Burchard, moving towards Humboldt. So yeah, it's this area right now why that severe thunderstorm warning. That's where it's tightened up the most. And there's still just a little bit of broad rotation in this area right here. Notice that green just kind of getting in there, and that's, I'll switch back over to the radar. There, I mean, you can see it's just kind of a little notch right there. Big, broad rotation. Nothing to be concerned about, but it's a little bit of rotation, just enough for me to mention it. Okay, I'm thinking we're back on air everywhere. We were off air for a little bit, so if you were missing us there for, we were off air just momentarily, which happens. You get some rain fade, or you get some wind, power outages. We had some power outages reported in Beatrice earlier as that storm rolled through. They had 60 mile per hour wind gusts. I mean, this is a classic case of wind pushing this out. You've got a bow. I mean, this is right like this. That is a bow. The storm itself is just pushing, and when that happens, it bends the storm. So I don't want anybody to think there's something in Lincoln keeping this away. It's just the fact that the storm itself is bending. If we wouldn't have these 80 mile per hour wind gusts that are right here, we wouldn't have the bend, and we'd probably have 40 or 50 mile per hour wind gusts in the capital city. But since this storm is blowing out and it is pushing very fast through here, that's why there's 80 mile per hour wind gusts right in this area right here. The storm is actually bending to account for that, and that means this gets pushed down, means this gets pushed up as this storm pushes this way. So that's why this storm is missing Lincoln right now, is because of this bend in the storm itself. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit to give you kind of a wide angle, and I'm going to switch over to a different satellite and radar that shows everything. And this, we're just about done. So if you're waking up Saturday morning, ready for your coffee, ready for your weekend to begin. I'll get you back to your programming here in just a little bit. We're just about done with these storms. They've been out there all. I just saw a flash of lightning. This is okay. We're gonna go back over to a camera because it looks creepy out there. As the radar pauses, we'll switch over to the camera. Yeah, we've got the color of the sky has changed. You see those clouds just whipping by. Let's see, Beatrice, that camera, Beatrice has been getting the brunt of this today. So I'm gonna switch over to the Beatrice camera, the Shones roofing camera, and wind's still whipping around down there. Heavy rain, likely some localized flooding. Shones roofing camera has been holding steady. I've been watching that stop sign whip back and forth on and off throughout the last hour or so. So if you live in southern Lancaster County or in Gage County or areas east of Highway 77, I would make sure that you take cover because these winds have, we had a report in Beatrice or just north of Beatrice of 68 mile per hour wind gusts. So certainly worth taking cover for. Let me look at some other cameras here. We'll go through them all, might as well. This is one in on top of our station in southwest Lincoln, looking south. Just a greenish hue. This is our Honda of Lincoln camera that will come up here shortly. There we go. Oh, look at that, heavy rain moving into southwest Lancaster, southwest Lincoln. This is 27th and Yankee Hill Road. Heavy rain is now pushed into the capital city. Let's look at the Allo Communications. That's how this storm is. I mean, it's bending, and as it does that, it's getting smaller. So this is 21st and L, dry at 21st and L, while it's pouring in southwest Lincoln. And northern Lincoln, this is the ABC Seamless, quiet. But you can see that storm off in the distance. And Southeast Community College, this should have a good view of the storm. This camera is always pointed south. Yeah, you can see that storm. And you can see the wind blowing the trees around a little bit. At the very bottom of your screen, there's a lightning flash right there. Okay, we're going to go back to the radar. So this storm has been interesting, and what's happening is you see right like this, it is bending, it is bowing out, and it makes the storm smaller, more compact. So it's like if you were to take a flat piece of plastic and bend it so the storm gets smaller. That's why it's bending south of the capital city, is because the storm is bending and bowing out as it pushes. So this storm itself right here is bending, and this area right there has the 80 mile per hour wind gusts. So if that didn't happen, Lincoln would be seeing 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. Everybody would along this whole line, but because it's bending like that, more wind, 60, 70, 80 mile per hour wind gusts, but it's more compact like that. That's what's happening with this storm. So that's why Lincoln is on the edge of this. It's just how the storm formed. This came all the way from western Nebraska pulsed all the way through central Nebraska, is now in southeast Nebraska. So it's not avoiding anything, and there's nothing to make it avoid it. It's just getting more compact with that wind as it pushes through, and it's making itself smaller. Beatrice had almost a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust a little bit ago, and they were on the southern fringe of that main spot. So areas like Wilbur, Hickman likely saw very gusty winds, and now everything is headed towards Nebraska City, Auburn, Falls City, and should be out of our hair in the next hour or so. So we're getting close to 9 o'clock. Hopefully everybody's staying safe. I know a lot of folks maybe waking up this morning, probably heard the wind or the thunder or the light, seeing the lightning, waking up Saturday morning going, where's my TV show? So I apologize for cutting in. Hopefully this is entertaining in itself. The wind is now pushing towards Auburn. If you have any friends or family that live in maybe Otoe County, you might want to have them give them a call. Say, hey, heads up, there's something headed your way. We're right on the fringe here, though, in the capital city. If this storm hadn't bent the way it did, it's bending, it's bowing out. And as it does that, it makes the storm almost fold up on itself. So that's why it's missing Lincoln right now. It's right along Highway 2, or Nebraska Highway. What are they calling it now? Nebraska Highway. But just a classic case, really is. Just this is a bow, and it is. The more bend you see, the more compact that storm is. So it does look like the severe thunderstorm warning has been let go of for the Lincoln area as this storm moves to the east. So that's usually a good sign for me to start wrapping things up and let everybody go. If what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait a minute. Let me see what the National Weather Service is saying. Did get a report 3 miles northwest of Firth, 63 mile per hour wind gusts. That was in Lancaster County. So if you know where Firth is, minor building damage, moderate tree damage, power lines down. That was in Saline County earlier in Western. That was at 7:45. So obviously the storm has a history of damaging winds, and that it will likely be the case as it heads towards Nemaha and Falls City. I'm just going to zoom into that area real quick. Tecumseh likely seeing the brunt of it now. Cook, Brock, Auburn, Humboldt, Pawnee City, and then it bends around like this, and that's where your strongest winds are at. So Lincoln right on the fringe of this as this storm bent. This line right here is where your strongest winds are going to be. And the more bend you have like that, the stronger the winds. It's getting compact. Somebody made the statement that it's like a figure skater, bringing her arms in or his arms in, and the more they do that, the tighter that they go faster and faster and faster, and they get smaller and smaller. That's what's happening with the storm right now. It's bending and getting faster and moving quicker, and has more winds in it. So the more it gets more compact, the more wind it has. So that's kind of why it's missing Lincoln right now. It's because it's that bowing is bringing itself within the storm as it pushes to the east and has 80 mile per hour wind gusts. So just a fascinating storm, really is, and hopefully we avoid all the damage. I'm not seeing anything indicating we're going to see another severe thunderstorm warning for the Lincoln area or the Beatrice area. So I will get you back to programming here shortly. Just want to make sure that this area right here isn't warned for anything before I send you back to programming. I am going to go to one more camera here real quick. Heavy rain falling now in the southern portion of the city of Lincoln. This is at 27th and Yankee Hill Road. Heavy rain pushing through the area. But if you go to the northern side of Lincoln, nothing, not a drop. So it is raining heavily in the capital city right now. Just looking for more information before I send it back to programming. But heavy rain. I'm not seeing any hail, and the wind doesn't look to be an issue. So just some good old-fashioned rain moving through southern Lincoln. And here's what it looks like. Okay, I think since nothing has been issued, no severe thunderstorm warning or anything like that, and it looks to be moving very quickly to Missouri, I'm going to let this go. I'll stay on YouTube for a little bit longer if you want to watch me over there, Rusty WX, and I'll keep tracking the storm as it moves south and east. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll get you back to programming. If anything pops up, we'll cut back in, but please stay safe. Keep it tuned to Channel 8. We'll keep you up to date. still. Still on YouTube, just kind of catching up on some things. Oh. So just to kind of recap here, the storm is bowing out, and when it does that, it brings in there we go. When a storm, like if you had I'm trying to think of something that like a straight line, and then if you push on the middle of that straight line, it bends. And that's what's happening here. So that's why the city of Lincoln didn't get the brunt of this storm, because the storm was coming towards the city of Lincoln, and then it was like this, and then it bent, and it just kind of made itself smaller, so it slid south of the capital city. There's nothing on the capital city to keep storms away. That's just stupid. And anybody that says that gets blocked or muted from me on all of my social channels every time. So just a heads up on that. Even if you say it here, gone. Because it's and the reason I hate that people talk about a dome or whatever their excuse is for they think Lincoln misses out on storms, even though it's been hit by tornadoes several times. Because if you believe there's something protecting the city of Lincoln, and then there's going to be the one time that it doesn't, and there's a tornado headed towards the city of Lincoln, and you're like, oh, we're fine, we're protected by whatever, and then you die. And that would kill me. It would just crush me if something bad happened to the city, to anybody in the city of Lincoln, because they thought they were being protected by some stupid myth. And I know there are a lot of people who love to joke about it, and that's fine. It's easy to joke about it, but I don't want to get somebody killed. So don't believe that. Yeah, storms miss everybody. Storms are missing Wahoo right now. They don't talk about a dome. Storms missed Grand Island earlier. Storms are missing Maryville, Kansas, because this bent. Storms are missing Lincoln this morning because of that. It just happens. That's how storms work. And more people live in Lincoln, so when they don't get hit by a particular storm, a lot more people think it's for a reason. And there's meteorological reasons, but not mythical reasons. So just wanted to throw that out there, that you won't ever hear me thank the dome or whatever it is that people think, because there's no such thing. Anyway, bowing and compressing. That's right. A. Anderson. Yeah. But you start talking about calculus, he said, reminds me of graphics calculations affecting parabolas in my college calculus class. That's exactly right. But it's easier to think of there's something mythical that keeps the storms away. It's just easier. And people like to gravitate towards things that are easy. Severe thunderstorm warning for Richardson and Pawnee County. So people love to take the easy explanation, kind of might explain why our country is the way it is right now. It's just easier to do certain things. But storm not missing South Lincoln. Yeah, it's not. It's pouring, and it's going to start raining everywhere in the capital city. We just missed out on the 70 and 80 mile per hour wind gusts, which is fine. How long have I been going? Hour and 10 minutes. Goodness. I got 5 hours of sleep last night. Let's see, what am I looking at here? Just trying to catch up on all the social media. there's any questions, comments, or concerns. Should be interesting to see how much rain we got. I forgot to empty my rain gauge this morning. I was such in a hurry to get to work. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts for that storm in Johnson, Nemaha, Odo, Pawnee, and Richardson County. Let's see. Heavy rain, 27th and Yankee Hill Road. The Cook area, wind, rain, little hail. Wind is relentless. All Lincoln is going to get is some nice rain. Yep. So let's see. Where are we? Wish I had coffee. I should have done that before I started doing this. Gordon, you could go fishing. Give it a couple hours later on. The plus side, after this is all done, 3/4 of an inch, 5 blocks of Costco, Southwest. Oh, good. So almost an inch. Like I was going to say, the good news is that cooler air is going to move in. Let's see what the temperature is, shall we? 72. Nice. 68 in Grand Island. Look at that cooler air. Goodness. That's a pleasure to see. So there goes the storm. Look at that. I mean, you can see what the storm did. Look how it just starts pushing out right there. And as it does that, it brings its wings in. So it's like, imagine a bird is flying, just floating, and then it wants to go fast, and that just bends its wings in. And that's, look at that. That area, this part of the storm, it's like wrapping itself in, just going faster. And this part right there too. Fascinating to watch. Of course, everybody's going to see that and go, "Oh, Lincoln, something in Lincoln was." Never mind. I'm tired of talking about that dumb thing. Let's look at. I want to look at the cameras. So that's looking at the storm from southwest Lincoln. I want to look at Honda of Lincoln because it looks like it's still just pouring there. Yep. Question: will the National Weather Service cancel the thunderstorm watch early? It's as soon as the storms push past, they've been canceling the watch. In fact, I mean, let's look at that, see what's left of it. Oh, that's not right. Sorry. That's not right. This is the right one. Yeah, when there's no longer a threat, that's when they cancel the watch. So, ooh, 2 inches plus out by Blue Stem Lake. That's a solid soaking. Lot of rain, heavy rain falling. How did I do that? Oops. Well, heavy rain in the southern half of Lancaster County still falling. Moderate rain starting to move into Malcolm, Milford, Seward. Like ice skating, exactly. That's exactly what happened with this storm. When you start to get that bowing effect, and we could see it happening. It started right over, probably like Fairbury, Tobias, maybe even started in a little further west, like near Hebron, and it started going like lines moving like this, and then it just bent like this, and it brings within the storm. It just compacts it. Yeah, I will forever argue against people that think that there's something over the city of Lincoln that protects it, because I want people to be safe, and if they think there's something mythical over the city of Lincoln protecting it, and then the one day we see a strong tornado go through, it's all fun and games till somebody dies. And that's God, I would feel awful if somebody actually believed that there was something over Lincoln protecting it, and then they got hurt because a storm moved through the city of Lincoln. I'd be devastated. So I'm always going to argue against it, and it just bothers me that people still think that there's something protecting Lincoln. I know that it's all fun and games. There's a lot of people out there that have fun with it, and they know who they are, and it bothers me. It does. Looks like I have a few voice messages that it'll be interesting to see what's up with that. Heavy rain though, I can hear it. God, look at that though. I mean, it's just still a little bit of a bend. A lot of a bend, actually. I'm gonna push velocity. Boy, look at that wind. Oh my goodness. This is incredible. 62, 67. And I'm looking towards Schubert, Auburn. So all of this right here, all of these whitish, orangish, see up here? That's what I'm looking at. Somebody wants to see the downtown cam. It's raining there now. Is Lincoln in a lower lying area like of some sort? What are you asking, Kim? In a valley? No. If you look at the whole state and how it all, the elevation, Lincoln is just as low as everybody else around it. I know people try to figure out some way. They think there's a reason. Is Lincoln in a bowl? No, I mean it's not. Look, it's just here. Let me show you. Does that look like a bowl to you? No, it's all the same thing. And here, I'm gonna move this camera around. And I mean, there's no valley here. It's all this, basically the same elevation all the way around. If we were in a valley or a bowl, you would see things going up. Everything is all basically the same elevation. If Lincoln was lower than its surrounding areas, and or whatever your name is, Orvilleton, you're right. It's just the way storms progress. But I mean, even looking at this camera, there's no bowl. If it was a bowl, the horizon would be higher, and it's not. It's all actually bends down a little bit. If anything, we're higher. So that whole valley bowl thing doesn't work either. All right, let me look at. Somebody wanted to see downtown Lincoln. Here's the Allocam. Heavy rain now moving into South 21st and L. Yeah, tornado hit West Day in 2018. There was a tornado in southeast Lincoln out by the Sam's Club out there a few years ago. One hit over by East Campus. Very brief tornado hit that. Lincoln's been hit by tornadoes. So again, there's just no real reason that Lincoln would be protected by anything. But if you go to any city, every single town I've ever worked in, every city I've ever worked in, they all think that. It's human nature. They all think there's something. Severe thunderstorm warning for Nemaha, Odo, Richardson, and Pawnee until 10:15. But anyway, that's get me going. Rather talk about fun stuff. I'm here at Southwest Lincoln, and oh, look at that spin. See this? That's that's a large area. So that's a rotation within like a larger. It's not the concentrated tornado kind of one, but that is because of this bowing out effect. So you get the winds pushing like that, and then this storm just bends around it like that and it's trying to join back in with it. Valley Stream Drive between 30th and 31st is flooded. Good to know. The storm is trying to collapse upon itself. That's why it's bending. That wind is pushing out so fast that it's like the wings on it are just trying to fold in. That's why it missed Lincoln. That's why it missed Marysville, and might even miss Falls City a little bit. Nah, it's going to hit Falls City. But heavy rain moving through the capital city now. I'm hungry. Didn't eat any breakfast. Let's see. Yeah, that storm is quickly moving east, and we're just going to be left with moderate rain for a little bit, and then that should be done. So give it until about 11 o'clock, noon, and if you have morning tea times, sorry, But if you have early afternoon tee times, should be okay. Greens will probably be a little slow. Let's see. Better post something to Twitter here real quick. Radar check. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, I'll be on for just a little bit longer. I kind of want to go home. I haven't seen my kids in what feels like forever. Ooh, hey, this is cool. Look at this. See these clouds floating by? There they are. They're trying to catch up with their that 80-mile-per-hour wind gust. It's like they're following it. That's awesome. Camera's just shaking. I don't know if anybody else, but can you show us the 10-day outlook and the storms? Thanks, Shockwave. I haven't done any forecasting since yesterday afternoon, so that I don't have the 10-day updated. So I'd hate to show that because it probably wouldn't be very accurate. It's probably not accurate anyway, but so no, we're watching storms right now. Appreciate that though. Still raining in Beatrice. Looks like it's calming down there, but it's pouring. Let's look at the Honda of Lincoln cam. I appreciate that, Kevin. Heavy rain falling at 27th and Yankee Hill Road, Honda of Lincoln. I didn't see any hail, so car dealers hate hail. Well, let's take a look at the radar one more time. Boy, this is just pushing, and the strongest part of the storm is just folding in on itself. Let's see. Wow. Someone just posted on Twitter, they live in southwestern Lancaster County. They've had 3.7 inches of rain and have had no power for an hour. Very strong wind and for a long period of time. No way to communicate currently other than social media. Wow. ask everybody on Facebook how much rain they got. That part south of Lincoln almost seems pinned in place. It does. I mean, it's kind of crazy how that's doing that. Up to 1.25 inches near the Honda Cam. Yeah, I bet. I mean, there's that's where the heavy rain in Lincoln fell. But this is all quickly moving east now. So give it probably an hour and maybe not even that long, and it should be done. Hearing the heavy rain though in southwest Lincoln. All right. Well, that was fun. For programming notes, Jessica will be in later to update the website, and I wonder what our website looks like right now. She'll be doing the forecast later tonight. Okay, so for thunderstorm watch. Okay, that's fine. Hopefully there's no damage though. I mean, I know that that area between Lincoln and Beatrice, and maybe even a little further south towards Kansas, had a lot of wind, a lot of power outages, trees down. So hopefully it's the damage is minimal. Hopefully you saw some soaking rains. I know my yard is going to love this. Hopefully this was helpful too. I know a lot of people tune to TV when there's severe weather, but I know a lot of people are starting to tune to YouTube too, so trying to be where everybody else is at. Let's see. Let's see, York County. If you live in York County, it's 4 miles south of Benedict, had 2.1 inches, 2.8 in 3 miles southwest of Thayer. 3 miles west of Waco had 2.32. 3 miles northeast of York had 2 inches. So did, well, that's another one. 2.3 in Hamilton County near Aurora. 2.29 in North Loop in Valley County. Trees, pivots, power lines, minor building damage in an area 2 miles north of Tobias to 3 miles north of Plymouth back to Dakin. So some wind damage out there. To send that as an email to my coworkers. Probably be wrapping this up pretty soon. Neighbor was watering his front yard this morning. That's awesome. That always happens though. I'm sure my neighbor was too. It's, you're so used to living in a drought. Just relaying the information. So minor building damage and trees, pivots, and power lines down near Tobias, Plymouth, and Dakin. Okay, I think we're about ready to wrap things up here, folks. Northern part of Columbus building, it's just heavier rain. That area right there, sure, yeah, some heavier rain. That's all it is. There's a chance for storms for like the next 2 weeks. Yeah, this has a feel of what May and June are usually like, and we didn't see much May and June. It was dry. I mean, I thought we were going to get away with no severe weather, and then end of July happened, and holy smokes, it's been been a little nuts. Look at all that lightning too. Woo. Let's see how much. Should we do a count? How much do you guys think? El Nino influence? El Nino doesn't really influence Nebraska. Neither does La Nina. We're just in the middle, and everything just kind of does its thing. But Nebraska doesn't really see changes because of El Nino. What are your guesses? How many bolts of lightning do you think we see? There we go. 210. That's pretty good. Ooh, just heard one. Okay, I think it's, well, let's see. I hate to let everybody go. This has been fun. Thank you for riding along for the last hour and 40 minutes. The brunt of the storm is moving into Missouri now, so I think I'm going to let things go. And thanks everybody for joining me, and stay safe. Hopefully you didn't see any damage. You just saw some much needed rain. And we'll see you guys next time.